Hi everyone and welcome to Squirrel Pie Productions. My name is Tommy. Today is not an actual episode. I am doing a little vloggy thing. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram, by the way, as DynamiteTrujillo. And today I thought I would go through kind of some of my sweaters that I have knit that need work or need to be ripped out. So the knit girls are doing something, I think in April and May. I don't know what it's called, but it's something to where it's like Clothing Conservation Month, I think is what it's called. And I don't know if that's an actual thing or if it's just something they're doing like it along for their channel. But they've been talking about it on their episodes recently that it's coming up, and it got me thinking that there are things that I want to do to some of the sweaters that I have and to make them better, to make them more wearable. So I've gone through my whole hand knit sweater collection. This is Squirrel Cat, by the way. She's my cat. Her name is Squirrel. And I have some sweaters that I've always wanted to tweak a little bit to make them a little bit more wearable. I also have some that I've knit quite a while ago and I have found that I don't wear them and I cannot figure out good outfits for them. So I think I'm gonna rip them out. So I thought I would go through them and show you what I'm gonna do, and let's all cross our fingers that I actually do these things, because I really want to do these things. Okay, I think I'm gonna start out with the stuff that I'm gonna alter. And I'm gonna start out with my very favorite sweater that I've ever knit for myself. I do wear it all the time, but there's one thing that I wish was a little bit different, and it's something really easy to fix. Squirrel, I'm gonna have to ask you to exit stage right, please. I don't know if that's the correct terminology because I don't do stage. I just get, oh my gosh. Squirrel, thank you, thank you. Okay, so the first sweater is my Evenflo. This is a sweater pattern by Hoki Locatelli. It's an amazingly good pattern. I love it. I wear it all the time, and it was knit out of Blue Moon Socks That Rock medium weight, which is a sport weight yarn. The only thing that I don't love about it is the sleeves. So the pattern called for 3/4 length sleeves, or maybe half sleeves, I can't remember. I wanted them to be full length though, so I altered it, but I didn't alter it good enough. So this is my sleeve currently, which is fine, but I would like them to be a little bit longer. I would also like them to not have so much positive ease in the wrist. So I typically end up feeling weird that my sleeves are like this. I don't know why. They looked fine, but I don't know. I just don't like them. So I'll typically cuff them up so that they lay a little more flush with my arm like that. But I would rather just have them a little bit longer and a little bit skinnier. Now I have almost a whole skein of this yarn left over, and it's in cake form. I used a little bit of it to finish up this sweater, and it's been sitting in my scrap stash in almost full cake since I finished it. So I have plenty of yarn. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rip back to probably about here and then re-knit the rest of the sleeve, doing some decreases and doing it a little bit longer. The only thing that I know is gonna happen after I do this is there's gonna be a really big difference in, what do you call it, color? Because this yarn still bleeds every time I wash it. And a lot of color has come out of the yarn since I first knit it. And I know that probably what I'll end up doing is ripping it out, re-knitting it with this yarn, and then just finishing it off with new yarn. So there's probably just gonna be a little bit of new yarn in like the cuffs, I'm guessing, of the new sleeves. But it's gonna be pretty striking, I'm guessing, because I know that the yarn that hasn't been knit with yet is much deeper in color than this, because this is just lost. It's faded a lot over time. It loses color like every time I wash it. But that's not a huge deal. I definitely not enough to stop me from doing it. The only thing that has stopped me from doing it all this time is what you might call laziness. I just haven't felt like it. But it would be really such a quick and easy fix, and I think it would make this cardigan even better, even though it's really great already. So I think that's what I'm going to do with that. I think that's kind of first priority because I literally wear that sweater like almost every day. So the next thing that I'm gonna, it's not, okay, not altering even, but adding buttons, changing buttons kind of is the theme from here on out with the stuff that I want to change. So I have my Strokkur, which is a Isolde Teague cardigan. It's actually a pullover. The pattern is for a pullover. I knit the pullover. I decided after the fact that I wanted to make it into a cardigan. I thought I would wear it more, so I did that. I steeked it, I added button bands, and I added these buttons, which are just plastic black and gray kind of marbly buttons, but they're a teeny bit too small for the buttonholes. I would much prefer, I'm looking for an example, I don't have one handy. I would much prefer a button about twice as big as this for it to actually stay closed when I button it. These buttons are pretty non-functional as it is, so I don't wear it a lot. Also, I knit another sweater fairly recently, and I don't remember what it was, but I knit another sweater fairly recently that needed this size of buttons, and so I stole like 4 or 5 of these buttons off this sweater, so this sweater currently only has like 3 buttons in the middle. So I need to take these buttons off and put new buttons on. I may or may not have some already. I know I have bigger buttons in kind of brown tones, but this is, I would think I would prefer a black button for this. So I'm gonna look through what I have and see if they match, and if they don't, I'm just gonna have to go buy some new big plastic black buttons. So this is a goal. I wanna get new buttons on this. Next on the button front is my Guthrie, which is another sweater pattern that the pattern is for a pullover, and I decided I wanted to make it into a cardigan. I decided that though before I started knitting it on this, before I started knitting this though, so I actually incorporated like a steek panel when I was knitting this sweater. And this is the Guthrie by Caitlin Hunter. I knit it out of, by the way, I knit this out of Harrisville Designs worsted weight yarn. Okay, so this I knit out of Plotulopi, which is an unspun Lopi yarn. And it was great. It's hot pink and black, and I kind of love it, but I kind of don't. The shape of this sweater is actually kind of bad, at least for me. The way it came out is very like slopey in the shoulders, so you probably can't really see it, but there's no like my shoulders go like this, but the shoulders of the sweater go like straight up like a volcano or like a mountain. So it doesn't fit that great, and there's like just not room or stretch in the shoulders, but there is extra room like up here, like in this area-ish. So it doesn't have buttons right now. I never put buttons on this thing. Just because I didn't have any, and I was like, I'll put buttons on it later, and then I never did, and I didn't love the fit of it, so I just kind of didn't care enough to. But I want to find buttons. I think I just need the same exact buttons that the other sweater needs, actually. Some like black plastic big buttons so that it doesn't come undone. So I'm going to put buttons on it and then see if I wear it. I'll pull it closed to where it would be when it is buttoned, and it's pretty wonky fitting. So I don't know. I don't know what the future of this sweater is. I mean, this definitely isn't something that I would rip out and use the yarn again for, because that, But we'll see. I'm gonna get the buttons on it because I need to, because I never did that, and then we'll see how I feel about it. But I don't know, not my favorite. I love the sweater itself, like it's beautiful, and the hot pink and the black is just like my thing, but it just doesn't fit great. So that's that one. This is the, I'm testing myself. I did not prep for this at all, so I'm gonna see if I remember all the names to all these sweaters. This is the Diaphanous Raglan by Jessie May. And this is knit out of Moonstone Dyeworks yarn, which is my hand-dyed yarn company. And it's the Ursula colorway. The only issue that I have with this is that it's not long enough. It's a crop pullover, and I added a little teeny bit of length to what the pattern called for, but I need more. I just do. I think I want to add, and it's a top-down sweater, so it'll be really easy. I'm just going to unpick the bind off, put it back on the needles, and add maybe an inch more of ribbing, and I think I'll be good. I also want to add a little bit of length to the sleeves. So the sleeves don't have any ribbing, it just goes straight to the end, and then you bind off, so that'll be really easy. I'm just going to undo the bind off. Put them back on the needles and probably add another inch to the sleeves as well, because the sleeves are a little like bell-shaped. They're real tight, and then they don't have any decreases or increases, so the slimmer your wrist gets, the more it bells out. And it's a little short. It probably comes to about here, and I feel like that's just weird on me with the belling. I feel like with that it needs to be a little longer. So that's what I'm going to do with this, and I have hopefully plenty of yarn left over. I want to say I have plenty of yarn left over. I hope it's still there in my scrap stash. Fingers crossed. But I would like to add a little bit of length to this. And, okay, the other thing I want to change is this, which is the Flora Cardi by Mattermade. Carrie Bostic Hogue, I think. This was in Making Magazine, and the yarn I used for this is Sincere Sheep Vernal, I believe is the base. It's a linen silk blend. And this is a really cute, like, little kind of open front cardigan tee. So it's really nice and drapey and like cute and stuff, but I just despise the color. I don't dislike this color in general. It's a really pretty minty, sagey, cool kind of green. It just, I don't like wearing it, it turns out. And I don't know, something about wearing this cardigan makes me feel very frumpy and little kiddish. That's the only way I can describe it. So it fits nicely and it feels nice to wear. I just don't feel good in it. I feel like I look I don't feel like myself when I wear this. And I'm hoping I can blame that completely on the color. So I'm gonna try and dye this and see if I like wearing it better. Now it's a linen silk blend, so I use acid dyes in my dyeing for Moonstone Dyeworks. So I have a bunch of acid dyes that work on protein fibers. So it should work on the silk, but it won't work on the linen. I'm thinking, I don't know, I've never tried to dye linen, but I think I'm gonna throw it in the dye pot with some of my dyes and see what happens. And if it fails, I'm not gonna be too crushed. And if it fails to the point where it's salvageable, then maybe I'll buy some dye that I can use on linen. And I'm thinking I wanna just throw it in a black bath, just straight up black, and see what happens. When I did my last mini skein set, I created a colorway that I didn't quite write down the formula for, but I do think I want to try to recreate it because I really like it. And what I did is I created a colorway similar to this. It was a real kind of bright sage green, and then I just overdyed it with black. And I really like how it came out a lot. So I'm kind of thinking I want to just throw this into a black dye bath and see what happens. So we're gonna try that hopefully soon. Okay, now for the things I'm gonna rip out. And some of it's sad, some of it I don't really care. But this is the Quiet Stars cardigan. It's cardigan by Joji Locatelli. And the yarn is O-Wool, O-Wash fingering in the Pearly Muscle colorway. And I got this at Stitches West, I think last year. And the yarn is insanely gorgeous. I love it so much. The color is super awesome. The yarn itself is super awesome. I believe it's like a non-superwash merino or maybe rambouillet or something like that. It's a 2-ply and it's really like springy and bouncy and beautiful. And I love it. And I love the cardigan in theory, but it doesn't fit me that well. I feel like technically it fits me, like, I think it fits me, but I think my issue with it is that there's a back panel on this thing that is, I believe, too wide for my back. So it's a really, I love the shape and the concept of it. I love a good like shawl neck cardigan, open front. I love that about it. But my issue is the sleeves. So these sleeve caps are not supposed to be all the way down here. They, to me, I feel like on me, they should be up here, right? I feel like that would make it fit a lot better. But with how wide this part is, they just always ride down like that. And I just feel very sloppy when I wear this, and I feel like the way it sits on my body, I feel really sloppy. I just don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm gonna rip it out. This is made of 3 skeins of that yarn, and I used every single inch of those 3 skeins in this sweater. So I'm hoping to rip this out and make a new sweater with it. And I don't know what yet, but we'll see. So this is getting ripped out, which is sad because I really liked it. Okay, the next thing that is getting ripped out is something that I have hemmed and hawed over for years. It was one of my early sweaters that I knit, and it is the Featherweight Cardigan by Henna Fettig. And I knit it using Imperial Yarns Tracy 2, which is a woolen spun, non-superwash wool. It's pretty much a sport weight. It's kind of similar to Brooklyn Tweed's fingering weight, which is, I don't know, whatever. Anyway. I love the yarn. It's beautiful. I knit this with 2 skeins of that yarn. I have 1 skein still left over from this yarn. And then I also have a 4th skein of the same yarn in a different color. It's a sage green, but it's not like that. Maybe this isn't sage. I shouldn't call this sage. Seafoam? I don't know. I don't know greens. Greens aren't my forte. But it's another green. It's like more like an army-ish green, but really light. So I'm thinking I'll rip this out, add the yarn back into that little grouping of yarn, and try to make a different sweater with 4 skeins. And now my issue with this sweater is that it just doesn't fit great. It's another, I've got a thing for open front cardigans. It's an open front raglan cardigan. And it doesn't fit great in the shoulders. It's constantly trying to do that to me, so I'm over it. So I'm gonna rip this out, finally. I've been threatening to rip that out for a long time, but I keep changing my mind, like, no, I really like it, but no. This one's sad because I love the sweater. It's just, my modification, I made a few modifications to it, but I'll tell you about it after I show it to you. So this is the Ursa Pullover. This is a really great pattern by Jacqueline Sislak, and it calls for bulky weight yarn, but I did 2 strands of DK weight held together, and so I got gauge, but it's just, I don't love the fabric for a top like this. So I used Moonstone Dyeworks yarn, the DK weight base, which is 100% superwash merino, in the tendril colorway. And this particular yarn, I love it. It's beautiful, but it's very heavy if you hold it 2 strands together to create a bulky weight. And this sweater is really, it fits snugly. It's got 0 ease, and it's a cropped sweater, and it's got long sleeves, and it's so thick and bulky and heavy that I just feel weird, and it doesn't seem like it fits right. Like when I try to wear it over like dresses and stuff, I don't know. I think it would probably be better if I had just used bulky weight yarn, and maybe it would have been less heavy, like maybe like a woolen spun or something like that could have been cool, but I don't know. It's just really thick and really heavy, and it feels weird as a crop top. I don't know, it just doesn't fit me the best. I don't know, yeah, like everything here, it's mostly just fit. Like, you know, you make your own stuff, sometimes it doesn't fit that great. So I'm gonna rip this out, and I'm gonna re-knit this yarn into a different sweater. Now, the thing with this yarn is that I had originally started knitting it into a pullover pattern by Jana Haitala from Lane magazine. Can't remember what it's called, but I originally started knitting it into that, and I knit the wrong size, so I didn't look at the schematics well enough. I only looked at bust size, but what I should have looked at was like armhole size. So I knit a size too small, and I got like halfway through and realized that the armholes were just like way too small and they were super tight. So I ripped it out and decided I wanted to do something different with the yarn, because the idea of knitting like the same pattern over again right after I messed up half of it just did not appeal to me. So I knit this, but now I think I want to go back and knit that pattern in the correct size. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this yarn after I rip it out. Is that going to be difficult? It is, isn't it? Ripping out a sweater where it was two yarns, where it was the yarn held double. That's going to be a pain in the butt. See how. The last thing is sad and not sad. It's my Marled Mania cardigan. I do not like this cardigan. I love the fabric. I love the fabric so much. So the Marled Mania cardigan is a pattern by Stephen West, and it's in this cardigan, I held 2 strands of fingering weight yarn together, and I marled a whole bunch of scraps together to create this amazing, awesome, and wonderful fabric. And I love the fabric so much, and I love how it came out so much. But the fit of this thing is just so bad. Like, so bad. And I'm not saying it's because of the pattern. I can't say that because I did alter it. So, I don't know. Maybe if I knit it to the pattern exactly, it would fit a lot better. But the place where it doesn't fit is a place in the pattern that I didn't alter, but I don't know, it could have affected it. But these shoulders are just like there's no shoulders here. I got no shoulderage. Like, where are my shoulders supposed to go? I just can't. So, like, it's really long and like open fronted again and drapey. And the alteration that I made was that, like, it was supposed to go zoop, and mine goes like that. I don't know. But like, either way, like, it's not that it doesn't stay on my shoulders, it's that there are no shoulders in this cardigan. There's just no shoulders. So, I don't know. I love Stephen West patterns. I do. I really do. I'm not trying to be a jerk. But where are the shoulders? Like, here's my sleeve, right? And there's the neck band. I don't know. I just don't like it. So, I don't know what to do with this. I'm not gonna rip it out because it's 2 strands of yarn held together and it's marled. And I don't know how I like wove in the ends, so there's like 2 million ends in this thing, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Maybe I'll give it to a thrift store. I have no idea. I don't know. Do not know. But I don't want it. So we'll see what I do with it. I got nothing. I don't really want to keep it. Like, I don't really want to repurpose it for anything because I don't know. Looking at this thing, I get the internal eye rolls like a 13-year-old, and I don't like who I become when I'm around the sweater. So I'm just gonna cut my ties with this sweater and be done. It was so fun to knit. It was so fun to knit. This sweater, I had a blast knitting this sweater, but I just don't want it. So, okay, that's it. That was my thing that I wanted to do today. So thank you for watching my little vloggy thing of stuff I want to do to some sweaters. I thought I might share it with you, and in case you're interested in seeing that stuff. And I'm hoping to get the stuff done that I want to do to the sweaters that I want to keep wearing really soon. You know, I've been wanting to do some of this stuff for so long, and it's just kind of not worth it to me. I just kind of don't care enough to actually do it a lot of the times. But I'm kind of hoping, I think I got inspired by Laura and Leslie of the Knit Girls in their idea to do a make-along where you kind of fix your clothes or whatever or something, or repair them, or I don't know, mend them, I don't know. But it got me thinking about all this stuff, and I think I'm going to be much happier with some of my pieces after I do these minor adjustments to them. And yeah, I hope I actually do it. This isn't to say that I'm actually going to do it, because I could just not do it. I don't know. We'll see. But I hope I do. What do you have? Are you not wearing some of the things that you've made, or that you just have because of really minor things that just kind of bugs you when you wear them? Do you think you might fix those things, or do you think you might repurpose them or rip them out and use the yarn for something else? Let me know. I would love to hear about what you are maybe thinking about doing, or your thoughts on this whole idea. Tell me about it in the comments below. And if you would like to like and subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing too. But otherwise, I will see you later this week for a regular podcast episode. Thank you for watching. I love you. Have fun and stay awesome. Goodbye.